Hey there everyone, I'm back with another tutorial. This time I'm going to be teaching you the basics of how to cut audio to a beat. In this case I've opened up I have a couple of audio files open here. The one I'm using is called Boogie Bounce. It's easy enough to find online. It's just a really good example of audio that's fairly easily cut. You can really practice these skills on any music file that you come across, as long as it has a beat and it's not too crazy. There's some audio that it's not worth trying to cut. This one is though, so I'm just going to play through a bit of the song to give you an idea of what the beat and feeling of the song is. So for anyone who's in class, you'll remember I talked about beats, bars, and measures. In the case of this song, we definitely have a clear beat. We can hear them one after the other. Typically that's where our audio is spiking if we zoom in a little bit. Each of those spikes tends to be a beat of just various different volumes. Then we have bars. And in this song, I'm not sure. I didn't count exactly how many beats make up a bar, but you hear these little repetitions in the beats. So I'll play back this section. So we were just coming up on the fourth bar there. So it is 4 beats per bar. If you rewind, you can play it back again and hear what I'm talking about. The other thing to keep in mind is that in this song, at least for the most part, every 4 bars is a measure. And the measure I described in class, it's kind of like a vibe. Typically, with each new measure in a song, you're getting another addition to the song. Whether it's clapping, whether it's a backbeat, there's a slight vibe change. So let's listen back one more time and see if there's not a vibe change with this measure, there will be one with the next. And we can actually see that in the audio. So let's play it back. So there wasn't too much change there, but you can hear where the same melody repeats itself, in this case 3 times because I played it through. Those are measures, and those tend to be where we make our cuts as audio editors, unless we're getting really masochistic about it and want to struggle. The easiest way to cut audio is to cut on measures. So on the subject of cutting or adding to audio, most of what we'll be asked to do with audio or music is to extend it or shorten it so that it syncs up with the length of a video. So the way we cut and the way we add audio is practically the same for all intents and purposes. So what I'm going to do is find the start of a measure and mark it with I, and the end of a measure and mark it with O for in and out. So I roughly mark the in of one measure and the out of a second measure, because most of these measures are going to flow into each other pretty well. This song is quite repetitive. So the best way to tell if our cut's any good is to move our playhead in front of where we want our cut to be. Then we make sure we have the loop function turned on, and we make sure we have the skip selection function turned on. And we just play back. Not quite. Things are a bit jumpy there. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time just cleaning this cut up. There we go. So our cut is much cleaner now, and you'll notice, I fast forwarded all of that, but you'll notice that I really got up close on the audio file to see right where I'd want to cut. That tends to be the best way. The more precision you put into stuff like this, the more you'll get out of it. So when I play back this cut, plays nice and smoothly. Which means, let me just quick mark our ins and outs down on my paper so I don't lose them. So for the record, the way I'm going to find my in and my out are I will go to Edit, Marker, Move Playhead to Next. We can also press the Alt key and the right arrow. So down below I see a time code, so I know that my in cut is at 16.318. So that means that my cut is at 16 seconds and 318 milliseconds. Then I'm going to do this again by pressing my Alt and right arrow and move to my out, which is at 32 and 590. This way, on the off chance that I erase my selection or screw up, I can still find those cuts that I wanted to make without having to rejigger it. So the first thing I'm going to show you, just because it's easiest, is if we want to shorten a song, we find a cut that plays cleanly, just like we did, and we hit delete. So now, when I play the song back, it's now 15 seconds shorter, and it plays smoothly. If you didn't see me make the cut, you wouldn't know the cut was there. The other thing we can do, if we want to make our song longer, is we're going to press Alt and the right key to move to the end of our clip. We'll press Control-C or Command-C on a Mac to copy our selection. We'll press G to deselect our selection. And we'll press Control-V or Command-V to insert a new clip. And when I deselect that, we'll see that things should play pretty smoothly on both sides of this cut. So everything played through pretty smoothly, and I just added 15 seconds to our song. And you can keep doing that over and over to add large chunks to a song. The only other thing I wanted to show you is that with this selection highlighted, we can also go to File, Save Selection As, and name it something. So let's call it Boogie Bounce, Plucky Guitar. And I would save it wherever I chose to save it. I'll save it in downloads for this sake. When I do that, what I've done is when I go to import, I can go to downloads. I can open up Boogie Bounce Plucky Guitar. And when I open it, I have just that one little selection. And for sake of editing in waveform, it's pretty useless. For sake of dragging something like this into multitrack, we now can create an entire song of just this riff as our background music if we wanted to. It's a very useful way to create sound effects or isolate specific clips that we want for larger multi-track projects. So with that, I think between this tutorial, where I show you to cut music, and the last tutorial where I showed you how to use multi-track tools, you should have most of what's necessary to edit your Ferris Bueller assignments. we'll be going over a few other things on how to make sound effects sound more realistic and how to play around with music a little bit. I'll also be giving you in-class time to work on this and get my feedback. But as far as the tutorials go, I think we're pretty much good. So next week, I'll probably be giving you a tutorial on how to record audio in Audition, as well as a in-person tutorial, as in one I filmed with my camera rather than my computer, on how to use the sound booths at the school, because that is one of your options for recording your own voice. So I will see you in class, and I hope you guys make use of these tutorials and keep practicing. Have a good one.